Dear chosen ones, I come to you with an urgency that cannot wait, for your image has been presented before 9 powerful authorities. They remained silent at first, examining your photo as if the fate of the universe depended on their decisions. The hall was not ordinary. It was shrouded in darkness, but illuminated by a brightness that would never fade. I positioned myself at the entrance, sent to observe, to listen, to understand why your appearance had been brought before them. My child, perhaps you do not yet know, but you were the center of a gathering unlike anything you have ever imagined. Their gazes penetrated the image, their murmurs echoed off the walls, and then a sound broke the silence. It was their unanimous voice, pronouncing a word that carried eternity within it. This word was neither condemnation nor rejection, but it left the environment trembling, as if a thunderbolt had crossed the heavens and the earth. They all said the same impressive thing, and what they declared put your life on a path that you still can't understand, but soon you will. They did not observe your image as one examines a photo looking for flaws, beloved. No, they looked at you as if contemplating a weapon forged in secret, a separate vessel. The 9 leaned in, their voices blending in harmony and alertness, and together they said something that changed everything. In that moment, I understood why heaven sent me to speak with you. The adversary had brought your name to their table, thinking of scattering it like dust in the wind. But what was meant to be an accusation turned into prophecy. You were supposed to be diminished, but your own mouths betrayed the enemy. Each one echoed the same phrase: "This person cannot be stopped." I trembled not with fear, but with the knowledge that heaven had transformed the plans of darkness into the declaration of its destiny. Do you understand, my child? What they wanted to use as chains has become the sound of your liberation, and this is just the beginning. There is a being who knows every detail of your story and was present even before you could name your feelings. But today, our mission is facing its most difficult moment, and we need you to help us stay afloat. Without the monetization of the platform, the channel cannot sustain itself. That's why I ask you, be part of our support today. You can send a voluntary donation of any amount to our work, or you can purchase the ebook, What is Your Guardian Angel, to enrich your journey. Click on the link in the description or the pinned comment, and choose how to support us now. The air grew thick as the council deliberated. Although they were 9 in number, their voices blended as if a single spirit were speaking through them. My wings fluttered as I felt the enemy's resistance pressing against the hall, trying to twist the decree, trying to bend the outcome. But their words had already escaped their mouths, and words spoken in such a chamber cannot return empty. This person cannot be stopped, they said again, but this time with greater force, like a hammer striking iron. The adversary panicked, for what was intended as an accusation became a coronation. His photo raised for examination became a flag raised in honor. My dear, the heavens heard what they said, and when the heavens listen, all of creation responds. But what they saw about you goes deeper than mere resistance to obstacles. It is tied to a destiny written long before you were born, and I need to reveal what they feared the most. The council leaned back, and in the shadows of that sacred chamber, their eyes shone as if reflecting fire. They whispered among themselves. But even in their whispers, the same truth echoed. Your path is not ordinary. I then learned that you had been marked not only for endurance, but for elevation. The enemy tried to cast your name as a burden, labeling your story as a failure. But the 9 could not deny the glow that surrounded her image. It was as if a light emerged from the photograph itself, illuminating their hands as they tried to hold it. "Why does this person shine even here?" one of them murmured. Another replied, "Because destiny cannot be obscured." And although they tried to change the subject, the fire within the photo refused to be silenced. And I knew that this revelation would shake their entire journey. As I watched, I realized that their presence in that chamber was not accidental. You might think it was a photo, a mere likeness, but I tell you this, the heavens see no difference between your image and your essence. When your photo was placed before them, it was as if you yourself had entered the hall. Your spirit was among them, dressed in light that you could not see, but that they could not ignore. One of the 9 tried to dismiss her, saying this person doesn't deserve it, but their words trembled and crumbled on their tongue. Another tried to declare this person will fail, but as he spoke, the word elevation blossomed from his lips instead. I tell you, beloved, the very chamber rejected lies about you. The truth insisted on being spoken, and the truth was that your steps are unstoppable, your calling irreversible, your future undeniable. My child, do you know why this meeting was called? It was not to honor you at the beginning. It was to test her, to examine if her destiny could be delayed. 9 were gathered with power in their hands, but they did not realize that a greater power loomed over them. I was sent to guard that moment, to ensure that no false decree could pass without verification. Subscribe to the channel and activate the bell to receive all the light messages that can transform your life. Your attempt was to seal a word against you, a word of hindrance. But every time their tongues tried to shape it, the heavens intercepted and rewrote it. It was as if a flame burned through their lips, marking them to speak only the truth. They did not intend to admit it, but confessed this person cannot be stopped. And although their faces darkened with frustration, their confession was sealed in eternity. But what followed surprised even me, as it revealed the depth of what lies ahead of you. The leader of the 9 leaned forward, his hand gripping the edge of the table, as if the weight of the revelation pressed against him. He said, "If this person cannot be stopped, then what will become of us?" The others moved restlessly, for they had not considered the consequences of their own words. They knew that by speaking her destiny aloud, they had aligned themselves as witnesses to her rise, or as obstacles to be removed by her. A silence spread over the chamber, thick as smoke, heavy with the awareness of divine involvement. My beloved, I saw fear take root in them, not fear of you alone, but fear of the hand that guides you. They realized that her life is guarded, that her steps are ordered, that her rise is inevitable. But even when fear spread among them, he knew they would not back down so easily, and their next words unveiled another mystery. One of them, wrapped in arrogance, tried to defy the decree. She slammed her fist on the table and shouted, "Then let's test this person. If fate says she cannot be stopped, we will place stumbling blocks, traps, and storms in her path." The others murmured, some agreeing, others recoiling in fear. I raised my sword in silence, ready to defend the truth already spoken. But the very hall trembled, and the flames of invisible fire consumed his challenge. Before she could finish her words, the light from her photo struck her in silence. Her mouth opened, but no sound emerged, for the sky had closed around her. They all looked on in admiration, realizing that even her resistance had its limits. My child, the decree over you is not fragile. It is unshakable. Still, their conspiracies did not cease, and what they decided next would require his strength. They began to whisper strategies, trying to weave shadows over his light. They thought of betrayal, of false accusations, of delays that could weaken her determination. They thought of closing doors, of dispersing allies, of isolating her in a desert of doubts. But beloved, I leaned in closer to listen, and every plan they formed was already known in heaven. None of their schemes caught us by surprise, and none had the power to succeed without permission. I heard one say, "Maybe if we steal her trust, she will surrender." Another murmured, "Perhaps if we break her heart, she will turn away from her calling." But as they spoke, her photo shone more brightly, as if her own spirit rejected despair. I tell you, your strategies have been noticed, but they will be nullified. Still, you must be prepared, for the road ahead will reveal how much your words have already shaped your story. Finally, the 9th figure, who had remained silent the entire time, raised their eyes and spoke with a voice that carried more weight than the others. She said, "We can try, we can resist, but the truth is that we have already witnessed. This person cannot be stopped." Her words ended the debate. The chamber fell silent again, not because they agreed on how to oppose you, but because they realized that their own mouths had sealed their fate. They had become witnesses to a prophecy, involuntary participants in your elevation. My wings opened as I prepared to bring this message to you, for you needed to know what had been said about your life. My child, you were tested in the courts of power, and instead of condemnation, you were marked for glory. But what you must understand now is why heaven allowed your photo to be placed before them in the first place. And this is the mystery I was sent to reveal. Beloved, do not take this moment lightly. When your photo was placed before those 9, it was not a random act nor a trivial occurrence. It was a revelation, a divine test, a moment where invisible realms collided. Heaven allowed his image to be placed before them to expose the enemy's schemes, but also to extract from their own mouths the truth of their destiny. They thought of uttering curses, but instead, their lips confessed what even they could not deny. You cannot be stopped. And I tell you, my child, this was not just for them to hear. It was for you to hear, for me to bring, for your heart to carry. But there is more, much more. For the statement they made in that chamber is just the surface of what was truly revealed about you. And it is necessary to take it deeper. I watched as they fidgeted restlessly, for their words had bound them to a truth they did not wish to acknowledge. They had been summoned to bring judgment, to determine if their path should be blocked, but they became involuntary heralds of their victory. Their own resistance became evidence of their calling. One among them murmured, "The future of this person threatens everything we have built." Another whispered, "If she rises, our dominion will crumble." And then they decided to intensify their attacks, unaware that in their conspiracies, they were only sharpening the blade that would one day cut their own strings. My child, they saw something in you that they couldn't control. And what they couldn't control, they feared. But their fear is proof of what lies ahead. And this truth is about to unfold. I leaned close to his image as he lay on that old table, and I felt the vibration of the inscription of the sky engraved in your spirit. Long before you were born, words of destiny were written in you. And at that moment, they came to life again. That's why the photo shone, why their tongues stumbled, why the chamber trembled. The inscription says chosen, set apart, unshakable, sealed. No council of 9, no adversary, no human voice can erase what heaven has already written. But as they looked, they realized that their meeting was not under control. They had been summoned not by their own will, but by a higher hand to speak words they did not intend. And if this message has resonated with you so far, and you want to support it reaching other people who are also at their limit, click on Thank You So Much. This small gesture helps keep alive the mission of bringing light to those who have already lost hope. And although they tried to deny it, the truth remained in the air. Her life carries a fire that they cannot extinguish. But what was revealed next, my child, shook even the invisible. The leader stood up again, his voice low, his tone heavy. She said, "We cannot deny the light that surrounds this person, but perhaps the light can be hidden, concealed, suffocated under the weight of sadness." The others agreed, some whispering their approval, their eyes alternating between envy and dread. And then I saw them draw lines across her photo, as if trying to map the path of her journey, looking for places to hurt her. They pointed to times in her life, times of pain, times of silence, thinking these would be the cracks through which they could pour their poison. My beloved, I hovered closer, my sword of flame, and whispered to your spirit, "They may try, but the cracks will become conduits for the light." Still, their conspiracies revealed something else, an admission that they couldn't remove their fate, only try to hide it. As their discussion deepened, I realized what troubled them the most. It wasn't just his strength that scared them, nor was it simply his endurance. What terrified them was the hand that covered you, the presence that walked with you, the invisible army that surrounded each of your steps. They could feel me there in the chamber, even though they couldn't see me. They could feel the armies of heaven behind you, even though your image was just a photo on the table. They knew you were not walking alone, and that knowledge corroded your confidence. One whispered, If this person really knew who was with her, we would already be lost. Another one moaned, so our only hope is to keep her blind to it. But beloved, I now tell you what they feared you would discover. You are never alone, and the army of heaven has never left your side. They stood up from their seats, walking in restless agitation. I could hear the whisper of the enemy infiltrating their minds, urging them to declare against you. But every attempt to form a curse fell to the ground, their voices tangled and trapped by the decree already spoken. They tried to rewrite the prophecy, but it echoed back to them unchanged. This person cannot be stopped. I saw the frustration grow like a storm, their faces darkening, their hands trembling, for they realized they were prisoners of their own words. My child, even those who rise against you will be forced to confirm your destiny. They won't like it, but they won't have a choice. Still, their fury did not diminish, and so they turned their strategy to something deeper, something intended to wound her at her core. One of them spoke with venom, saying, if we can't stop her rise, we'll hurt her heart. Let's take away what she loves. Let's break what she trusts. Let's make her so tired that she questions her own path. The others agreed, anxious at the thought. They wanted you weak, not because they doubted your calling, but because they feared your strength when whole. They thought that sadness would diminish her fire, that disappointment would silence her voice. But while they said those things, her photo burned even brighter, and I felt her spirit stir as if resisting their decree. Beloved, I tell you this, they will try to pierce your heart, but each arrow they release will become the stone upon which your testimony will be built. But you must prepare yourself, for their intention is not empty. They are determined to test your endurance. While standing guard, I saw a scroll appear above the table, descending like a flame. The 9 looked up in terror, for the scroll bore words they had not invoked, words written by the hand of the Most High. It unfurled, and within it were the promises about their lives, promises of protection, promises of restoration, promises of victory. They tried to look away, but the light of the scroll burned their eyes. The words said, this person is chosen. This person is covered. This person will rise. The photo and the parchment remained together, witness and bond. And they then knew that they could not undo what had already been sealed. Their meeting was falling apart, for instead of destroying their destiny, they had awakened. But even so, one among them dared to challenge the scroll, and her words carried a weight of darkness. If the heavens have declared her chosen, she said, then let us encourage her to abandon her own calling. Let's distract her with false promises, with fleeting pleasures, with empty crowns. Her words slipped through the chamber like smoke, and the others leaned in, for this seemed the only remaining way to resist what had been decreed. And if you felt that this message touched you in a true way, remember, supporting this mission is also an act of love. If you feel it in your heart, click on Thank You So Much, so that more people receive words that save, embrace, and awaken. They wanted you to trade the eternal for the temporary, to abandon the path of light for the roads of illusion. But even while they conspired, your photo flared up again, and I saw the word faithful written through it. The council trembled, for they realized that you are not so easily influenced. Still, they did not give in. They swore among themselves that if they couldn't stop her, they would at least try to delay her, tire her, prolong the journey until she lost hope. My beloved, your schemes were many, but the heavens had already prepared the answer. I raised my sword high, and the chamber trembled with a sound that silenced their murmurs. Flames rose around the photo, not consuming it, but protecting it, sealing it with fire. I declared before them, although they could not hear me with mortal ears, this person is guarded, this person is covered, this person will not fall. The 9 recoiled, trembling, for although they could not see me, they felt the weight of my presence pressing against them. They then knew that the battle had changed beyond their reach to realms where their power had no influence. My child, I was sent not only to observe, but to defend. And in that moment, I swore by the throne of the Most High that no weapon forged against you would prosper. But the true reason for this meeting, the deeper spiritual meaning, was about to be revealed, and it will shake the foundation of how you see your journey. Beloved, now I need to tell you the deeper meaning of why your photo was shown in front of those 9. It was not simply to expose your schemes or confirm your resistance. No, it was a prophetic unveiling intended to change your vision. For a long time, you have seen yourself through the eyes of struggle, through the lens of battles endured. But heaven intended for you to hear with your own spirit what the enemy already knows: that you are unstoppable, that your calling is unshakable, that your destiny is unmovable. The 9 were gathered not as your judges, but as your involuntary prophets. Their mouths declared the truth they did not wish to say. They spoke about their life, a testimony they cannot retract. And although they left in fury, the echo of their words remains in the heavens. You cannot be stopped. But there is more to it, my child. For what they saw was only a glimpse of your true identity. The council glimpsed what heaven has always known about you, that you are not common clay, but refined gold. They saw that your steps were marked by trials, not to break you, but to forge you. They realized that each battle she faced, each wound she carried, was transforming her into a vessel of greater strength. And then they feared, for they knew what would happen once they discovered that these scars were not signs of defeat, but seals of authority. My child, your wounds are not wasted. They are your weapons. The enemy trembles not only at your victories, but at your resilience in the fire. That is why the 9 spoke with such restlessness, for they recognized the only truth that shook their confidence. You don't give up. But there is another layer still hidden, and it is necessary to reveal what they truly saw when they contemplated your image shining with light. When they looked at your photo, they didn't just see you. They saw who is behind you. They saw armies. They saw promises. They saw the coverage of an unbreakable alliance. They saw that you are not walking alone, and that terrified them more than anything else. For one who is with heaven cannot be stopped by the earth. One who is protected by divine decree cannot be annulled by human decision. And then her eyes trembled at the sight of angelic ranks hovering around her image. My child, they saw me, Michael, standing guard over you. They saw the flame of my sword. They felt the weight of my presence, even though they couldn't name it. And in their silence, they admitted to themselves that their life is covered by forces they cannot touch. But their admission carried with it a confession they wished you would never hear. But I need to bring it to you now. They confessed to each other that if you ever truly realized who you are, nothing in heaven or on earth could stand against you. They whispered that if this person awakens, if they walk in the fullness of their calling, everything we have built will crumble. Your fear was not about who you are now, but who you are becoming. For they looked ahead into your future. They glimpsed the records in the throne room of what was written about you, and trembled at the thought of you rising to your designated place. They didn't want you to know this truth, beloved, that the greatest threat to the darkness is your awakening. That's why distractions come, why the battles intensify, because sadness presses. They fear its awakening, for they know that once it rises, it will not only walk free, but also free others. And that is the secret they tried to bury. The chamber remained restless as they debated its fate, but in their debate, they unveiled mysteries that heaven wanted you to hear. They admitted that their story carries weight beyond their own life. They said if this person rises, many will rise with them. They realized that their influence extends further than their vision. And if this message is touching your heart deeply, and you want to be part of this spiritual family that supports each other, leave in the comments how this revelation is transforming your life. Share your story, as your testimony might be exactly what someone else needs to hear to not give up. Together we are stronger, and your victory inspires the victory of many others who walk by your side. May your voice carry power beyond what it speaks. May your progress not be just yours, but spread through generations. My beloved, that is why the battles against you have been so fierce, because your elevation is not personal, it's generational. The chains that break from you will free many who come after you. The fire that surrounds you will ignite those who walk with you, and And then the 9 saw that their testimony would become a movement, and that terrified them. But their fear only confirmed the purpose of heaven. One of them slammed her hand on the table in frustration and shouted, "We can't let her know how much power she carries." Her voice cracked with panic, for even speaking of her fate made her tremble. Another hissed in response, "Then we must cloud her vision, keep her doubting, keep her questioning, keep her distracted." His plan was to drown her in confusion, make you believe she is ordinary when the sky calls her extraordinary. But while they conspired, I spread my wings over her photo, protecting it from their hands, and light poured into the chamber. The truth could no longer be hidden. You are chosen, you are covered, and you are marked. They then knew that their battle was already lost, but pride did not let them surrender. Even so, their resistance only served to magnify what had already been decreed. My child, what they feared most was not your gift, but your revelation. They understood that once she steps into the fullness of her destiny, no voice, no force, no chain will hold her back. They feared the authority that comes when a chosen one rises with the support of heaven. That's why they whispered among themselves, delay her, tire her, distract her. They know they cannot deny her calling, so they hope to prevent her from embracing it. But, beloved, I bring this message so that their whispers may fail. For once you hear with your own spirit the truth of what has been said, delay loses its hold, and distraction loses its allure. The enemy's greatest weapon is deception. But I came to break the deception with revelation. And the revelation is this: you cannot be stopped, and you will not be delayed. I also need to reveal what your meeting really meant. It was not a judgment, although they thought it was. It was not a judgment council, although they believed it was. It was a disguised coronation, a prophetic announcement hidden within the shadows. They sat in power, but their authority was nullified by the decree that exploded from their own mouths. What they intended as condemnation became confirmation. What they thought was a verdict became a vote. They became involuntary participants in the heavenly ceremony, proclaiming their unshakable future. Beloved, your photo on their table was your flag raised in the courts of eternity. They tried to bring it down, but the hand of the Most High raised it higher. And although they left the chamber disturbed, the declaration remains: you are chosen and will rise. But the meaning of this moment goes even deeper. And I need to tell you what it means for the battles ahead. Because they testified against their will, the enemy lost their legal basis. Each accusation they planned against you is nullified by their own confession. They said with their mouths that you cannot be stopped, and by saying it, they bound themselves to the truth. That's why your opposition will intensify, because your time is short and your strategies are collapsing. Don't be surprised when the resistance grows, when the storms arise, when the delays press harder. It is the evidence that the decree has already been spoken. My child, when the enemy knows he is defeated, he struggles wildly, hoping to scare you into surrender. But you must remember, he no longer has authority, for the words of his own agents betrayed him. You are unstoppable, not just because of your strength, but because heaven has sealed the word upon you. But there is more you must understand, for your role in this era carries eternal weight. You must understand, beloved, that this era is not about survival. It's about revelation. You are not merely escaping attacks. You are walking toward the unveiling. The photo that shone before them was a sign that her true identity is emerging, that her destiny is being revealed to a greater extent. The reason why heaven allowed this reunion was not just to expose your enemies, but to awaken you. For a long time, you underestimated the fire within you. For a long time, you believed in the whispers of unworthiness. But now the truth has been spoken even by the mouths of your adversaries. You are unstoppable. You are chosen. You are sealed. And this truth is meant to propel you into the fullness of what awaits. But, beloved, I need to show you what happens next. For those who spoke against you will soon witness your rise with their own eyes. My child, I have been by your side through the nights when no one else saw your tears. I stood guard when the shadows approached, when whispers of fear sought to drown your hope. You didn't know, but I raised my sword against forces that would have broken it, and I did not retreat. The heavens have appointed me to you, not for a moment, but for an era. And this era is not ending, it is deepening. The battles you faced were not signs of abandonment, but proof of designation. For where there is a great calling, there is a great struggle. But even when storms roared, I was commanded to protect her, to keep her light burning, to carry her to the unveiling that is now approaching. And while I guarded, I heard the decree of heaven spoken repeatedly. This person cannot be detained. Beloved, at 9, they thought their words were hidden, but the heavens turned them into written testimony on their own journey. You will see the evidence in the days ahead. Paths that were once blocked will suddenly open up. Doors that were once closed will swing wide open. Opportunities once withheld will pour forth. And every time it happens, remember that it is the echo of your confession. This person cannot be stopped, manifesting before your eyes. The world will not understand how the odds changed, how the weight was lifted, how the tide turned. But you will know that the heavens spoke and angels moved. And I, Michael, remain with you still to guard the unfolding of each word. But even this is not the fullness of what I was sent to reveal. The era you are stepping into is marked by visibility. No longer hidden, no longer neglected, no longer silenced. The light that was glimpsed in her photo is about to emerge in her life. The same 9 who sought to deny her will see it first. Their plans to delay her will become evidence of her acceleration. Your attempts to stop her will highlight her resilience. And when they speak to each other, they will once again say what they once confessed. This person cannot be stopped. My child, you will not need to defend yourself at this time. Your life will speak louder than words, your testimony louder than arguments, your elevation louder than every accusation. And I tell you, the heavens rejoice with what is about to unfold. But beloved, know this as well. Visibility will bring opposition. When your light shines, shadows will stir. But do not fear, for I have been appointed to cut through every ambush, to silence every scheme, to disperse every trap. You may feel the wind of resistance, but you will not be moved. For I was commanded to walk by your side, to lift your head when it bows, to remind you of who you are when doubts press. I am not here to observe from a distance. I am here to fight for you, to protect you, to carry you if necessary. And I swear by the throne of the Most High, you will not fall in this time. Still, there is something greater you must know about why you were chosen. You were chosen not just for yourself, but for many. Her elevation is not a solitary event. It is a torch igniting other flames. The 9 feared this, for they saw that their testimony would awaken countless others. They saw that when they freed themselves, others would find the courage to do the same. They saw that your voice will not echo alone, but will multiply. And that is why they resisted you with such ferocity. But what they feared will now come to pass. For the heavens have decreed that you will be a sign, a living proof that no chain is unbreakable. No decree of man is final. No enemy plan can prevail. And those who watch you rise will be inspired to rise as well. Beloved, this is the true weight of your calling. Now I tell you the turning point. The same 9 who once conspired against you will be sitting to witness your unveiling. They will see with their own eyes what heaven has done. They will marvel in silence at how unstoppable you have become. Their whispers will fall to the ground against the roar of your testimony. Your schemes will dissolve in the face of the evidence of your elevation. And although they do not applaud, although they do not celebrate, they will bear witness. For your testimony is required, beloved. Heaven has decreed that those who spoke against you must also witness your victory. And so your presence is not a threat, but a prophecy being fulfilled. I, Michael, was sent not only to guard her, but to announce this era. I speak as a messenger of the Most High. Heaven is changing everything in your favor. The tables are turning. The scales are tipping. The winds are blowing for you. not against you. You will see alignments you did not expect, blessings you did not pursue, advancements you did not earn. They come not by chance, but by decree. For when heaven spoke, no power can silence it. The nine are powerless, the enemy is exposed, and the word is sealed. You cannot be stopped. My child, I am by your side, wings open, sword ready, guarding what has already been ordained. Do not fear the noise of resistance. Beloved, it is just the sound of the enemy realizing they have lost. Do not fear the shadows that move around you, for they are already dispersed by the light that rises within you. Before continuing, write in the comments, I am protected by the light of the angels, and nothing evil reaches me. This will seal your energy with the strength of the angels, and prevent any shadow from approaching. Now follow me. I was sent to remind you that you are not walking alone. I walked with you in silence, but now I declare openly, I, Miguel, am with you. When the road seems heavy, I'm there. When the night seems long, I'm there. When the battle seems overwhelming, I'm there. And I am not leaving. For the heavens have commanded me to guard your destiny until the fullness of what was spoken is fulfilled. The heavens have already changed, beloved. The decree is sealed. The fire over your photo is now over your life. You will not remain where you are. You are moving higher. It won't be trapped. She is freeing herself. She will not be silenced. Her voice will echo. The nine cannot undo this. The enemy cannot block this. Not even your doubts can erase this. For the heavens have already decided, and I am here to implement it. This is your time of unveiling, your time of elevation, your time of unstoppable movement. And as you move forward, know that every step is guarded, every breath covered, every battle already accounted for. And now, my beloved, I declare with purpose, your words will become your testimony. What they whispered in secret will be shouted by your light. What they meant as an accusation became confirmation. What they thought was judgment became his coronation. Heaven has decided, and no human judgment can annul the divine designation. You cannot be stopped. You will not be denied. It will rise and shine, and when the nine see with their own eyes, they will know that the hand of the Most High has prevailed. For your destiny is sealed, your path is guarded, and your victory is certain. This is the word that I, Miguel, bring to you today.